Hey guys, it's time for another boss ranking, and in this video I'm gonna be ranking the 8 Nightlords from Elden Ring Nightreign from easiest to hardest. Keep in mind though, that I play this in multiplayer mode, always with random players, so my teammate's skill was definitely a game changer in some of these fights. At number 8, and by far the easiest Nightlord, we have Maris. To beat this boss, you're gonna need one skill, and one skill only, which is not to fall asleep, because this boss is kinda boring. You spend 10 minutes shooting arrows and spells into the sky, and from time to time he will come down to actually attack you by throwing waves or jellyfishes or do a charge attack, and all these things are mostly easy to avoid. Due to the fact he spends a ton of time flying, even if he kills you or a teammate, it's normally easy work to revive someone. Can however kill everyone at the same time, since he can make everyone fall asleep and then nuke the entire place, which will erase your entire health bar. Still a crazy easy boss that you will beat on your first couple of tries. At number 7 we have the Sentient Pest. Same as the previous boss, me and my random teammates only died once to this boss, and it was due to a massive AoE. In first phase we fight the Moth and the Scorpion on their own, and honestly I have no idea if it's hard to deal with a Moth, because I always went for the Scorpion, which is the typical giant boss where you should unlock and attack his ass. Later into the fight, the Moth and the Scorpion join forces, and you better be ready, because there will be a ton of AoEs coming from the Moth and stomps and charge attacks coming from the Scorpion, making this boss already a decent challenge. I see however lots of people on social media saying that this boss is one of the hardest, but it was simply not the experience I went through. In number 6 we have the Gaping Jaw. Even though same as the other two bosses on this list, me and my random teammates only died once to this boss, the challenge definitely went up a notch. The Gaping Jaw has a massive mouth that he constantly uses to try to kill you, and if you get caught by his grab attack, get ready to see your HP being chewed all the way to 0. The second phase transition comes with a massive AoE and with it massive damage, so you better move fast to try to avoid it. What also makes this boss being in my opinion harder than the other two is that hitting him is pretty challenging, since he keeps running and flying away from you, so be prepared for a very long fight. In number 5 we have the awesome dragon fight that is Calijo. In one of the most memorable fights in the game, we fight a giant dragon to the sound of a beautiful soundtrack. And even though I see many people ranking this boss as one of the easiest in the game, I surely can't say the same, because Callisto made us fight really hard for our first ever win. Callisto uses ice breaths to attack you to do an insane amount of damage and are not very easy to avoid, and also uses his tail and wings to put an end to your misery. At a certain point in the fight he will disappear, and you will have what is one of the most iconic moments in the game, as we look in awe to the sky and are blown away by the beauty of the view and the music, only to risk all of us dying if you're not far away enough from the range of the attack. He also starts flying everywhere, making a massive rain of ice rocks come your way that are very hard to avoid and will obliterate your health bar. When we finally beat him, we were crazy lucky with RNG, because he focused in one of the three of us, and me and my other teammate used our big weapons to stagger him over and over again until we got the win, and boy oh boy did I celebrate it like crazy. In number 4 we have Gladius, the very first Nightlord for every single player. Now I have to be honest with you guys, because I don't really think Gladius deserves to be this high in this list, since this boss is kinda easy to learn and most of his attacks are basically bites or charges. But I 100% need to put into account that this is the first boss everyone will face, and by this time you are still learning how to play the game, so it's natural that you will get to him underleveled and die over and over again. Just to put it into perspective, it took me 13 hours of game time to finally get my first win, and I did a poll on my channel where 6,500 people answered that after 4 days of the game being released, more than 50% of them have not beat this boss yet. That's insane. I also have to give this boss some credit, because it can multiply itself, making it something like reviving your teammates close to impossible. And he has a fire breath attack that comes fast and hits hard, and also a massive sword that can hit you even if you're crazy far from him. I do however think that if he wasn't the very first boss in the game and people were good at the game already, he would be seen as much easier than the previous bosses in this list, except Maris. At number 3 we have Fulgor. Now I know this might sound crazy putting this boss at number 3, since me and my teammates beat him on my very first try. But if there was a fight where I was 100% carried by my teammates, this was it. because I spent most of the time on the floor as he killed me over and over again, to the point my teammates were probably tired of coming to my rescue to revive me. This boss is easily one of the fastest in the game, and same as all the other bosses, will erase your health bar with 2 hits. He moves everywhere, making it really hard to hit him, and he can take 3 players down with no problems. He can attack you from crazy long distances, and he has this insane attack where he runs around the arena, making the entire floor explode in one of the most massive attacks in the entire game. In second phase he gets this crazy looking tentacle arm, so be ready to be punched to oblivion because this guy simply never stops. If there was a boss I wanted to fight again after I finished the game, Fulgur was it, because it also seemed like a super cool boss fight, so a rematch will soon be made between us both. As for picking my 2 hardest bosses, it was a super easy task because both these bosses felt like a huge step above all the others when it comes to difficulty. But without a doubt, number 2 goes to no other than the Mad Goat himself, Libra. The first thing I want to mention about this boss is that he is creepy as hell, and honestly it kinda scares me a bit. His demonic looks, his voice, and his crazy stressful soundtrack make this fight atmosphere works against you, and it sure affect me as hell because my first attempt I just panic rolled through everything the Mad Goat would do. This boss, unlike the others, has some gimmicks that I had no idea existed, because before the fight even starts, he will give you a choice that can have different consequences. Another thing I had no idea what to do is that at some point he will stop to meditate and some yellow circles will go around him, and I had no idea that if you don't break them he goes into beast mode. There is also another attack where it deals madness into you, and again all I did was run like a maniac as far as possible, but what you need to do is actually pick the small pieces on the floor to avoid his status effect. Something I need to address also is that I don't know what boss does more damage per hit in this game, but my god, did it felt that every time this guy would hit me, I always needed to heal and I still would not have my entire health back. It is simply insane the damage that this boss will do to you. Libra is a crazy jump in difficulty compared to all the other Nightlords, but I'm very happy to say that the real challenge in difficulty in this game comes from the final boss itself, Aeolstor. There are many From Software games where the final boss comes short when it comes to even being challenging, which is to me a massive disappointment, but this time they have performed extremely well, because this boss is by far the hardest boss in the game. His first phase feels almost like a joke since he looks like a mummy that is about to die, and this is where you will be overconfident and lose a few flasks thinking it's no big deal. The problem is that it is in fact a massive mistake you're making, because in second phase this guy is so insane, he will literally open the very sky and explode the entire arena to make sure you stay dead, and boy, you will miss losing those flasks in the first place. Aeolstor, unlike the other bosses, is not a giant where you can just strafe and hit his back, and it does attacks that will hit you even when you're behind him, so finding safe openings to even hit him is a challenge on its own. He of course also does big damage, and most of his attacks will come with a follow-up explosion, making it extremely hard to catch up with everything that is happening on screen. I honestly don't even have tips for this fight, I just hope that you watching have the luck that I did and had a good team and we were finally able to beat him, and boy did I celebrate it like crazy, because this is one hell of a challenging boss. And this, everyone, is my list of easiest to hardest bosses in Elden Ring Nightreign, so now please let me know in the comments what your list would be. I am very curious to see and find out if you agree with me or not, and as always, thanks for watching, I see you guys in the next video, stay well.